Alright, I decided to shoot a video because my car caught on fire. When was it? Friday. And I was supposed to be going out of town. And I just wanted to make sure that, I pumped my air up in this tire right here, which was low by about, 10, 15 pounds. I walked away from the vehicle for a second to go get something else, my tool bag, because I usually bring a tool bag with me when I go on a trip. And I come back and there's smoke coming from the inside the car down here at the cigarette lighter. So at that point, there's a cigarette lighter right there, and I've narrowed it down to, there we go. I've narrowed it down to everything started here, I believe. When I plug the air pump, and this is an auxiliary slash 12 volt cigarette lighter thing, I guess, whatever it says in the manual, but that's what it is. So I wasn't doing anything wrong when I plugged it in. People do it all the time, and it just followed itself up into here, and I'm tracing it out now. I see that it's self-contained, which wherever that wire went, that's where it burned to. And I'll show you some pictures. I've looked in there and seen it. It went in there, and then it kept going in there, and then I see some other parts of it where it went through here, up in here somewhere. I can't see it really good right now, but I just traced it, and smoke started picking up a little bit, and they told me to not do anything, but it started pouring through the vent up at the top, and I just ended up calling them. And I had a water hose in here, and I've been extracting water from down there. If I hadn't done anything, this thing would have burned up. And I replaced the climate control. I can't remember when I replaced this why it went out, but I went on a trip and I came back, this didn't work, and I can't remember if one of these plugs had anything going on. I didn't shoot the video. I was watching somebody else's video on how to do it, and I just did it real quick. And I don't know either way, because I didn't do a video on it. I don't remember. I just don't remember. I got so much going on, and I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I just figured it just went out because it went out. But my wife had complained about that cigarette lighter when it tried to get a cell phone cord just charging a phone up, and it got hot. So what I'm doing now is just going to look inside the fuses itself and see inside the fuse where the harness comes in at all the wires, and try to disconnect it there, so that one will never ever be hooked up again. That wire, that cigarette lighter will never ever be working again. And see if that solves my problem, and put everything back together and see if I can drive this thing again, or if I take it to a shop, it might be covered under warranty, I don't know. But if I take it to a shop, they're gonna try to eat me alive, and they're gonna do the same thing I'm doing here. So figured I'd take a shot at it and see what happens. So anybody who ever had a car fire, some stupid stuff going on, cigarette lighter, radio. I've seen somebody with a radio try to hook up an amplifier, and they had their radio hooked up, and then they got out of the car and it sparked, and their car caught on fire. So they had a radio up under the seat, and they turned the amp off or something like that. So anybody who got these kind of crazy problems, whatever it is, I'm gonna show you how I'm trying to resolve this problem, and hopefully it'll help you. Alright, so with a little bit of a challenge getting this off, I was able to take this off and take the top of the fuse box off. This connects to all the fuses here. They push straight down, and if you look at here, these are all the pins. So when you put a fuse in, I guess all these pins get pushed down, all these fuses get pushed down into this little pattern here of connection pieces that goes into the harnesses and goes where they need to go. So I've taken off the last one that connects to the this one connects to the very back, the very last one right here. It sits in there, and I pulled that out, took the back off of it. I don't know if I would have had that much luck with the rest of them, but yeah, I guess these clips pull these out as well. But anyway, I found the wire I was looking for. This is the wire right here. That wire got so hot, and I don't know why the fuse failed, or you know, I don't know what happened, but that wire right there got hot. I'm gonna try to point to it so you see it. See that wire right there? It's got two breaks in it, one here and one there. The wire got so hot that it started fucking with the wire beside it. It didn't get through this wire, but the heat had got melted this wire a little bit. So I'm gonna cut this bitch right here so it's not used again. I'm gonna cut this wire. So whoever, if anybody ever gets this car out to me, they can just run them they want a cigarette lighter, they want to smoke that bad, or whatever they want to do, they're gonna run another wire, because I'm cutting this bitch. So, and then first I'm gonna verify that this green and brown and white wire here is the same wire inside the car that came down from the cigarette lighter. Let's go take a look at it. I don't know what color this wire was, because some bitch charred up like a motherfucker. I don't know what color it was, but there's two wires here. And I guess one's for the ground. See, there's two wires, but if I cut the one that's giving it the power, then the one that's not giving it power should be okay. So I just want to make sure that wire don't get no more power before I connect everything up again, because I sure don't want to go through this again. This was a messed up situation here. Yeah, so the wires, I'm just looking back at the wires here, trying to pull them out. And there, that wire I gotta put back up. I'm trying to pull these wires. See? It started going. I'm telling you, this thing was going. It was going like little Johnny's cookout. Little Johnny's barbecue. I'm pulling the wire back now, because that wire that I got, it's part of this, all this stuff here, but it didn't get to all these other wires. It was burning the tape. Look at that. It was burning up the tape. And it was bare. I don't know how far it got bare, but it was bare all the way down. Wherever my wire was going. Well, I know it was going, I just showed you. But wherever it melted at, these wires started getting melted together, and that was the end of the situation. That was the crispy stuff that we got here. But I think we've uncovered the problem. But when power is applied to the car, I can make sure that these wires are dead. That nothing else. Well, they're right. It's gotta be right because they're bare. So you gotta make sure they don't relight again or energize and cause a fire. So that's what we're doing. That's what we got going on today, unfortunately. All right. So we look in here. Look down here. You'll see the wire that I'm looking at right there. That's the one. That's the problem. Oh shit. Damn blur is going. Alright. Sorry about that. If you look here, you'll see the wire right there. That's the problem. You don't see that with none of these other wires. Just that one. So the one that I'm gonna cut to make no longer exist. It's gonna be the connection to where's she at? Right there. So this should alleviate the problem. This was the problem. So that wire that's coming in is burnt. Will not have any power anymore because I'm gonna cut it. Alright, so this whole thing seems to act like one giant plate. That you have negative on this end and positive on that end. So whatever connector you have coming in from the harness there is the positive coming out, is the positive side of this connection going into the car. Whatever's on the other end of that fuse is to the negative end of this distribution fuse box, and for some reason it missed it just kept going. The current just kept going and started to burn through there and cause a massive, smoked everything out on that line. I don't know why, but that's the conclusion of what happened. So I'll let y'all know how it worked out. Alright, so far here's what I've done. I've taken the wire out of the equation that was bad. If you look back here, I've retaped everything. It might be too dark for you to see it, but if you look back in the back, let me scoot out a little bit. Alright. Here's the wire. See the wire? That's the wire right there. I've taken it out of the harness. I know you see the harness down there. Kane, I apologize. Let me get you some light here. I'll show you with my other camera light there. There you go. See that? Got some light going. So I've taken it out of the harness and isolated that one wire so I can test it later and make sure it's not getting any power. It shouldn't, because it was on that fuse that was hooked up right there. So I basically have isolated the wire. Now I'm just putting everything back together, putting all these here together. Then I can go ahead and cut the cigarette lighter wire and move forward. Alright, I'm going to show y'all something about this cigarette lighter. Usually this shouldn't have happened, but you see that little piece right there on the left side? That's a little bit of char right there. So whenever this thing made contact with this cigarette lighter, this pump, for some reason, something started to happen right there. And then from there, with the connection, it followed itself on down, started shorting out, went all the way to the fuse box. And I was checking when I pull this out, when I pull this out here, I can't really do it with one hand, but I try to, let me, see, this side and this side, because it's just like hooking up, just like screwing in a light bulb at home. You got the inside here, and that button hits the bottom down in there. That's the connection to the power. The outer shell here shouldn't be but the ground, but for some reason, and when I pushed it down, I can't do, well, let me try to do this while I got the camera. I'll put it on the stand, I'll show you. Alright, so sorry y'all gotta look at this vacuum cleaner, but let me get something else to look at over here. Okay, focus on this. plug. Showed y'all the inside of it. To the left side you see the connection. Showed y'all this. Now I'll show y'all when I plug it in. See that metal piece touches the walls on the outside, this metal piece here, and that's your ground. And then the little pin that you see on the end, the button, which is right here, when that hits, strikes the all the way down and clicks in, that's the power. But for some reason, look what we got. I don't know, because we started seeing it coming out the side right there. That was the failure. Cigarette lighter. GM owes me $100,000 for distress and water damage and mental depression. No, they could keep the mental depression, but you know, because I wasn't that stressed out about it. As long as I ain't sit here and had a car on these new tires I bought be melted, sitting on alloy factory rim. That's a brand new tire right there. I ain't trying to go out like that. And the car wasn't in bad shape. I mean, it was only 2007, but still, it wasn't like it was a 95. No disrespect to nobody on 95, but I mean, at least in 2000s. Shit. Anyway, I'm tripping. Y'all feel me? Got something else to show y'all before I'm done. Also, I wanted to point out also that this vehicle, the battery is in the trunk of the car. So when the fire department actually came, the first thing he did was pull the fuse. Second thing he did was first thing he did was find where fuse was giving it the power, and that's the one I cut, and now it's no longer in use. And the second thing he did was disconnect the power from the battery as well as a secondary thing. So my only concern with this is basically we know the wire that I cut at the fuse box is one of these two wires. Now the ground wire is probably either the top wire or the bottom wire. That's still in there somewhere. So, and it's probably going to be in conjunction with some other wires. But as long as this one here is out of service, and I'm going to put a voltmeter on it, and the one that I disconnected from the fuse box, all of those, as long as there's no power going to it, then we should be okay. And I disconnected everything else. I also pulled the wire as far as I could, because you can't get, it's going to be hard to get all this other plastic stuff off everything else just to trace it up to the whole harness. So, but I think we got it, but we'll see. Alright y'all, so still working on the HHR. We're not all the way out the woods yet. I connected the battery, and I still saw some smoke. And what that was 29 was the front auxiliary power outlet. That's the one that was giving me the problem. The front auxiliary power outlet. That's the one that I plugged the small air compressor to. And when I plugged this, I tried to connect the battery again, I saw smoke. So I disconnected the power outlet in the back. The back also has a power outlet, and I'll show it to you. Right down here, there's another power outlet in the back, and somehow the one in the front and the one in the back, apparently they're on some kind of same connection, because lo and behold, when I plug that battery back in, it started smoking up there, which I immediately disconnected the battery again. Then I looked at the fuse panel. There's some more fuses down under here. I don't know if y'all can see those or not. I can barely see them when I'm in there. But there's some more in there. Matter of fact, let me get it at a different angle because I can't see them. If I can't see them that well, you probably can't see them. There's some more fuses up under there. That's great, you can't see them. Alright. No worries. Okay. Now you see them. So, I guess one of these wires here well, I don't know. Somewhere along in here, this is another fuse box that obviously connects to the fuse box under the hood and has some more fuses, but they don't seem to have anything to do with what I'm doing here as far as the problem I've been having. But I'm just letting you know that number 30 for the power outlet in the back, that has something to do with it, because when I unplugged that wire, it stopped smoking. When I turned it on the next time, there was no smoke. So I seem to have fixed the problem. I thought I fixed it with just unplugging number 29, which is the front auxiliary outlet 20 amp. But 30 tends to have something to do with it. Seems to have something to do with it. They're on the same kind of circuit. So then I got another issue with the power lock. There's a lock right there. The lock light comes on, so I got to figure that out as well. And then I should be on the right track, hopefully. When this is all said and done, I'm probably going to go ahead and do just like I did with number 30 over here and disconnect the wire. Or do just like I did with number 29, the front auxiliary power outlet, and disconnect that from the box as well, because that don't need to be there. That's a problem. So but that one's in a different location. That one is actually 30 is well, it's right across the street. It's right there. I took it out, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and take that one out too, so nobody ever plugs that one in again. You know, because just because I figured out the problem, I don't want nobody else to go through the same situation later on down the road, because I don't know how long I'm gonna have this car, especially now. All this crazy stuff. I need to get this I had to spray some water in here as well, so you know, I need to get this thing detailed. That was my next step, but it is what it is. I'm still working on it. Alright, so I'm sitting here trying to reset the car's locked, and I went through the cycle of turning the key in the on position but not cranking it, waiting 10 minutes, and then turning it off, and then turning it to the on position without cranking it for 10 more minutes, and then turning it off. And now I'm in the third cycle of repeating it. Turned it on to the on position, wait 10 minutes, and then see what happens from here. But the locks feature still on. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna do a little review. I shot an earlier video about my HHR caught on fire. And just to do a little recap, caught on fire because I plugged in a air pump into the cigarette lighter, and the air pump, you know, got really hot. It made the outlet, or the inlet where you plug in that pump, it was real hot, and within like 20 seconds, no more than like 30-40 seconds, smoke started pouring through the dashboard, and it's been in the shop ever since. I got one little ding here. Guy before me, you know, lady before me hit a deer, small deer. It looked pretty good when I got it. Other than that, you know, all this, it ain't about a beauty contest. I'm just trying to tell y'all what happened. So what happened was the windows wouldn't go down. I put the fire out with a water hose, spraying it in the dashboard. Man, kept this car for about 4 months. Charged me, had to spend almost $1,000 to get it out. And basically, there's the wire harness. He replaced the wire harness. I paid for the wire harness, and all this was smoked, you know, just from plugging an air pump into the cigarette lighter. The battery that was in it wasn't no damn good, so, you know, I put a battery in it that came off my tractor. That battery is way too big, but you know, it's just in here for right now. So they replaced the whole wiring harness, and then that's not all. They replaced the fuse box, and I got parts everywhere. It's filthy in here where they took the damn. There's tape and all kinds of stuff where, you know, they had. You think about it. I sprayed it with a water hose all in here. They took the dashboard out. All this stuff came out. All this stuff was all just, you know, just laying everywhere. But it needed to be detailed a little bit anyway, and I'm not even gonna try to hide it. But that's the way it was when I got it, and I meant to get it detailed. But I wanted to show you the new fuse box they had to put in. When they did the fuse box, the ABS light wouldn't come off. So at first, when you do the whole wiring harness, there's always going to be something that don't want to. He went through the whole wire harness, and he called me. He said, you know, the back windshield wipers won't go off, and I can't get the compressor to go off. But other than that, I got it straight. So I waited like another 3 weeks, and then he called me. I was supposed to get this car back before my birthday, but he called me the day after my birthday, which was cool. Ain't no big deal. But the ABS light wouldn't go off, so I had 3 lights on because of that. I had the traction light, I had a brake light, and I had a check engine light that I already had. So all this stuff was lit up at the same time. Couldn't do nothing about that. So I just have to deal with that. But I got it running. And you know, I don't know what I'm gonna do at this point. But I got it running. And then he had to go in the dash, and I told him to turn some of this shit off in the dash, and some of them lights off in the dash, which I don't even know if that's legal or not, but I did it anyway. I had him do it anyway, just so I didn't have to see all that crap. And you know, that's what it was. But you know, still runs good. So quiet, runs good. So said he went through everything. So I'm gonna clean her up, you know, get it detailed. And I was working on detailing it when I got it, but the lady I bought it from, she I found, McDonald's bag under the seat, and all this, she was going in, she was going in. So I still gotta go in here and detail it. I hadn't had the car probably about 2 months before this happened, and then I lost the car for 4 months being in the shop, and now I got it back, all because the lady I bought it from, somebody put a fuse in that was too big. They put a 30 amp fuse on probably a 20 amp. That should have had a 20 amp or a 15 in there. So that tire pump that I plugged into the cigarette lighter, it was supposed to just pop the fuse and then this would have never happened, but it kept going. And I'm sitting here, I walked to the front yard, came back, smoke was coming through here. I sprayed in there, and some of this stuff is probably on the floor. The discoloration came from all that water and stuff, but I don't know what all the other shit is, but I'll get in here and go through it. But that's about it. And I just, glad to get it back though. But damn. Look at this shit. Like all this stuff was charred all behind the damn cigarette lighter, man. So that kind of messed things up, but then because this was before the corona thing, so I was trying to get the hell out of here. I was gonna take this car to El Segundo for real. But still gonna do that. It's Grind Time Media. I'm out.